And I never forget it. Vince had a pair of khaki-colored slacks,
He probably just pushed it to the limit.
and it got liquid,
Oh, he shit himself.
and he sharded.
Sharded, of course.
We just haven't seen a prospect like Wimby. That height. Oh, look at this thing. Check. Oh my goodness. Check. You know what's weird about Wimby?
Man, I root for these guys because we need. I just shut down, shut down.
I will give you that.
What are you talking about, Chuck?
Hey everyone, welcome to the OJ Observer. This is your host OJ. Today we are going to talk about the Vince McMahon allegations and give some context to it. And guys, you know, I support women. I believe all women for the most part. So if you're easily triggered, this is not going to be the video for you.
If you're Vince McMahon and like your whole thing is fuck you, I run this game. You're all out of your fucking mind. I'm gonna shit in your head. Like he probably just pushed it to the limit.
One of the most controversial things out there is this story of Vince McMahon defecating on Janelle Grant's head. Now, we really got to talk about this, okay? How did this happen? Was this something where he actually sat and forced her to do it? Probably not. I'm going to play a clip to give some context, and then we'll come back with a description.
And I never forget it. Vince had a pair of khaki-colored slacks, nice slacks, and probably a $5,000 sport coat, custom made. He's waiting on his music cue to make his walk to the ring, and so he turns his back to Briscoe to deposit something a little in the air, and it got liquid.
Oh, he shit himself.
And he sharded.
Sharded, of course.
He sharded. But it still stunk. And Briscoe still almost fell out of his chair holding his stomach and dry heaving. So he got mission accomplished, except he's wearing khakis and he's got a brown stain,
Oh, no.
you know, the old racing skid mark.
Yeah.
And he's got to go out and do his bit. So they told the truck, and the truck started laughing. And, of course, nobody had the balls in the truck to shoot it. They got to shoot around. Vince's
you got to shoot it.
No, they were afraid to shoot it. They didn't want to be looking
That's
for
funny.
work. So they tell me and Lawler that, hey, you get a chance, look at the old man's ass. You know, and I talk back. Why do I want to look at the old man's ass? Just do it. So Lawler and I come out. We're sitting at ringside, and Vince comes out, and sure enough, on one of those times you turn back around, we saw a little brown, and it was, but you know, here's the deal: a lot of guys would have just, I can't do the interview, or this is not going to work.
Right.
He didn't care.
He didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
He came out and did his promo.
Consummate professional.
He nailed it. He was the enemy, the villain. It was awesome.
Back from our clip, and we can see good old JR explaining the time that Vince crapped his pants when he tried to fart. So a shart, in other words, and had to go out on TV with shit-stained pants. Wow. Now, talking about Janelle Grant. Obviously, these accusations I can't condone. I hate repeating it over and over, but somebody's going to take it out of context, so I got to keep doing it. At the end of the day, what happened in that hotel room? We don't know. Did he force her down and do that? I doubt it. Did he have her at gunpoint? I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe he tried to fart and he accidentally sharted on her and she started laughing. Maybe they tried doing it. Some people, especially in Germany, some people have that fetish, and maybe they tried it and they didn't like it. We don't know what the hell happened, but everybody is sensationalizing the headline, but we're not looking at exactly what happened. It could have been a trial. They could have tried it. I think he probably tried to fart and he accidentally sharted on her and he was laughing his ass off. I wasn't there. I don't know the man. As for the McMahon documentary, I haven't watched it. I love Bill Simmons. Here's the book of basketball. This guy has an encyclopedic knowledge of NBA and the NBA history. But I find when Bill goes to WWE, his knowledge isn't kind of the same in my opinion. So there's a bit of a drop off. You know, Bill is well versed in sports, pop culture, movies, all that stuff, and he's the podfather. I've been reading him since page 2. If you ever read the uh, Gold Club Atlanta Strip Club report, I'll put some quotes there. It's hilarious. But Bill Simmons is a G. I don't know if I can watch McMahon. I'm too biased for Vince. I love him as an experimental marketer. He's been accused of everything in my lifetime. So if I'm gonna now decide, now I don't support Vince. Like, look, I support him. Whether you guys like it or not, I support him. What he's done to women and all of that stuff, and some of the cover-ups, and even with Jimmy Snuka, Chris Benoit, Owen Hart. I mean, the crimes he did against the Hart family, particularly Stu Hart. I mean, you didn't pay him the fucking money for Stampede, and Stu was such a stand-up type of guy. That type of stuff, I don't support. But Vince, as the experimental marketer, look what he's made WWE. How can you guys talk any smack about that? I mean, I was a subscriber to the Wrestling Observer message board. I got banned. And one of the idiots on there, these are the type of takes these guys have. One guy said Vince was actually lucky twice because he got Hogan and Austin and The Rock. I'm like, this guy's a damn idiot. Vince makes stars. Vince makes merchandise. And that's what you guys don't understand. You look at your 7-star rating at the Tokyo Dome. Guys, that's no buy. And finally, to end the video, I'm going to read a quote from Reddit. It's actually a woman writing. She deleted the post, but her opinion is pretty bang on. So I'll read it, and we'll see you next time.
Vince is absolute scum, but this Janelle is no gem either. They honestly seem a great match for each other in terms of morality and manipulation. Vince violated numerous fiduciary duties to a publicly held company by hiring a woman who was unqualified for pretty much any job in a corporate environment. He wasted a lot of the company's money on having an in-house sex slave for himself and the boys club. On top of that, a sex slave, even if consenting, could likely violate criminal laws, prostitution / trafficking, etc., and put the company in legal jeopardy, which is exactly what looks to be happening depending on the Department of Justice outcome. All that said, based on the fact pattern that she submitted to the court, she accepted his advances by not saying anything out loud to him, like "I do not consent," in the early stages of his courtship while she was trying to get a job off of him. She continued to show up at his condo asking for a job while letting him get sexual favors in exchange. Finally, he must have realized that to keep her happy, he'd have to give her something, so they made up some job for a woman who, according to her own fact pattern, had never had a real job before. This was her first ever job and never held an office job before due to being a full-time caretaker of her parents. Multiple officers seemingly breached their duties by allowing her to work there. A woman with zero skills or education to work in legal then ops, effectively wasting stockholder money on an OPEX that shouldn't be. I found it laughable that she told McMahon her NDA should be worth $3 million. In what world does someone with a seemingly no college education or paid work experience make $3 million in a few years? They seem to have created more ignorance in an already ignorant person by allowing her to think she had some merit to progress from an uneducated and junior employee to a director in a year. Wild to think that a director position was actually going to be a VP. This was not a woman with a bright future as far as I could understand by reading what's offered about her background. At best, she would be working in the service industry. But truly, I cannot stress that this woman entered into a relationship eyes wide open. As a woman who has been in a very similar circumstance where I met a senior professional in my industry and needed help landing a job, and he basically propositioned me in exchange for help, I told him fuck right off. He had no leverage over me at that point, just as McMahon had none over her. She could have walked away multiple times where he could do absolutely nothing to hurt her, but she never did. This is why I doubt her story that the whole thing was non-consensual. Do I think lines were crossed after she was working at WWE and these people needed a legit safe word? Probably. Yes. After reading that statement of facts and filing in its fucking entirety, and that shit is long, I actually feel like she set women in the workplace back quite a bit. She, McMahon, and Johnny set us back so much, and all three of them deserve punishment. Anyway, that's my take. Perhaps not the one people want to hear from a woman in an age where I'm supposed to blindly have everyone's back, but yeah, team no one on this. And that's from Reddit, guys. We'll see you in the next one.